Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Chile. Sitting along the west coast of South America, between the majestic Andes Mountains and the Pacific Ocean, is one of the world's longest countries. And within the country itself, you have everything from deserts to ice-capped glaciers and lush, fertile wine valleys. It's a country which has forged a unique identity on this vast continent and is a fascinating blend of old and new.
I'm in the capital city of Chile, Santiago, and I've come to Cerro San Cristobal, and from here you get an incredible view of the city. So it's literally in a valley surrounded by the majestic Andes Mountains, which are snow-capped. It's a breathtaking view, and the city is so huge. You can see lots of high-rise skyscrapers. It's very modern actually, so I'm quite surprised about that. I'm just very excited to explore this country. I feel like Chile is a bit of an underdog in South America compared to the well-known kind of tourist countries of Brazil and Argentina. So I'm just like really wanting to learn all about Chile, its history, the culture, meet some of the locals, and just see what it's all about.
To understand Chile today, I'm first delving into its past and taking a trip to the Museum of Memory and Human Rights. Chile entered one of its darkest periods in history in 1973, when Marxist President Salvador Allende was overthrown in a military coup led by Augusto Pinochet. What followed was 17 years of a brutal military dictatorship, which saw thousands of extrajudicial executions, torture, and forced disappearances. The museum was opened in 2010 and commemorates the victims of human rights violations during the Chilean military dictatorship.
It's incredibly moving and poignant coming to this museum, and it really brings to life the tragic period in Chile's history. In the museum, you have testimonies of those who survived detention facilities, families of those loved ones who disappeared. You even have testimonies of torture methods that were used, which is really, really sad. Over 3,000 women, men, and children were disappeared or murdered, and even to this day, many people don't know what happened to their loved ones. The military regime crushed the opposition, and people lived in fear, so it took a mental toll on the people of Chile. Even today, 50 years since the coup, many people don't know what happened to their loved ones, so it's an open wound for many. But the country has been a democracy since 1990. It's made a lot of progress and it's moved forward. But I think that without coming here and visiting this museum and learning about, this tragic event in Chile's history, it's very hard to understand the country and its people. This is the downtown area of Santiago, and I've come to Plaza de la Constitución. So there are lots of government buildings around here, like the Ministry of Justice and the Ministry of National Defense. You have a lot of public sector workers here. Perhaps the most famous building is the Palacio de las Monedas, which is the presidential palace. It was the location where in 1973, during the military coup, the Chilean Army, Air Force bombed this palace, and at the time inside you had then President Salvador Allende. Now he didn't want to give in to them, so he actually committed suicide. He shot himself inside this very palace. So it's the scene of some pretty tragic events in Santiago's history. So there are lots of statues of past presidents around the palace, and the most famous one is the statue of Salvador Allende. So there's actually a quote of his on his statue, because right before he committed suicide, he delivered a very eloquent and calm speech to the public via radio. And there's a quote here of something that he said, which is, "Tengo fe en Chile y su destino." I have faith in Chile and its destiny. He obviously had a vision for Chile that he was never able to realize, because he was only able to rule for 3 years before he was overthrown by the military dictatorship. It's a very interesting place to come to learn about the political history of Chile, because it has really influenced the country and the people today.
Today, Chile is South America's most developed country, and people here generally have a high standard of living. Santiago has these beautiful tree-lined pedestrian sidewalks, green parks in every neighborhood. There's even a world-class subway system which makes navigating the city very enjoyable. And many of the stations have art installations, so commuting feels like a trip to an art museum. but there are still some old school gems dishing up mainstays of Chilean food culture. Antigua Fuente, in the heart of town, has been serving Chile's beloved fast food, the Sánguche, for more than 50 years.
¿Tienes recomendaciones?
Sí, lo que pasa es que el sándwich típico de acá es el lomito.
El lomito.
Sí, que es cerdo.
¿Cerdo? Es
como,
rico.
Sí, es delicioso. Es que aquí todo es delicioso.
Los chilenos les gusta mucho el sándwich.
Sí.
¿Sí?
Yeah.
¿Dirías que es como la comida nacional de Chile?
Sí.
¿Sí?
Sí. Todo adentro de un pan.
Cuéntame sobre Chile entonces. ¿Cómo son la gente de Chile?
Somos simpáticos,
¿Sí?
somos amables. Estamos entre la cordillera y el mar. Entonces básicamente somos como una isla. Entonces aquí nos colonizaron los españoles y luego quedamos como aislados del mundo. Entonces somos pocos, somos 15 millones. Entonces en general eso hace que sea un lugar tranquilo.
Okay.
Antigua Fuente is right in the center of the city, which was the main location for massive protests against inequality that gripped the country in 2019.
Y esta zona donde estamos ahora, el centro, ¿no? Hubo muy grandes protestas.
Aquí mismo.
Aquí mismo.
Aquí mismo.
¿Fue como una revolución o
Sí.
una protesta?
No, una revolución.
Una revolución.
Sí.
Protestando para más derechos.
En realidad era de todo.
De todo.
Había contra la salud, contra
La pensión,
contra
sistema
las
de pensión.
pensiones, contra las autopistas, contra las autoridades,
Muchas
contra el
cosas.
gobierno. Sí, en realidad no se salvaba a nadie. Este sector era una guerra.
Una guerra.
Sí, era una guerra. Incendiaron la iglesia. Pero había de todo. Había gente que protestaba pacíficamente y había gente que quemaba todo. Hubo la protesta más grande de la historia de Chile en esa época.
¿De Plaza Italia?
Claro, que tuvo 2 millones de personas. And this is the Plaza Italia. Yo soy abogado, entonces en general trabajo todos los días de lunes a viernes, pero los viernes en la tarde veníamos todos los viernes a la plaza.
Para protestar.
Sí.
¿Y ahora cómo es? ¿Hay como un aire distinto en Chile hoy día?
Tranquilo.
¿Sí?
Está todo bien.
¡Wow! Mira esto. Muchas gracias.
Casa aquí y sal.
Perfecto, gracias. This is muy grande. Esta salsa roja es tomate.
Yeah.
Like a tomato sauce, sauerkraut, slices of roasted pork y mucha mayonesa, ¿no? Acá la mayonesa no es un condimento, es como un
Ingrediente.
¿no? Está rico, muy cremoso.
Hasta luego.
Encantada, muy encantada, un placer. ¡Mua!
Mucha suerte.
Encantada.
Buen regreso.
This is the beautiful Plaza de Armas, which is the main plaza in Santiago, and you've got the beautiful Metropolitan Cathedral. It's absolutely stunning. It's the new year, so lots of us have New Year's resolutions. We want to work on our passion projects, and I have got an amazing offer for you guys in this video. I have 10% discount on Squarespace. They are an online website design service. They've got lots of ready-made, beautiful templates on their websites, whether you have an e-shop and you're selling products or services, or you have a blog, for example. They've got templates for all sorts of passion projects and businesses. You can also take advantage of their incredible AI technology, which is called Blueprint Squarespace AI, and it basically helps you build a website even if you have no prior experience. It sort of works like ChatGPT, so you can give it lots of prompts and it will help you write an about page, for example, on your website. It can help you with things like product descriptions if you're using an e-shop template for your products or services. You can also choose things like your color and your font aesthetic. So it's pretty amazing, and it's a very streamlined way of building a professional looking website. They also have tutorials which walk you through step by step how to build your website. You have tutorials on squarespace.com and you also have it on YouTube. They have some incredible tools once your website is up and running, things like analytics which help you see how your website is performing, where your traffic is coming from, whether you need to switch up your website or your strategy. So I recommend giving them a go. Head to squarespace.com/MelliniAngelica. You get a free trial. Then once you're ready to launch your website, you get 10% off using my code MelliniAngelica when you enter it at the final stage of checkout. So have fun building your amazing website in 2025.
Even as Chile has modernized rapidly in the 21st century, it's also a country which is still rooted in its cultural heritage. The national dance, La Cueca, has been a part of Chilean culture for hundreds of years. It went from a courtship dance to a way of control during the dictatorship, and then to a form of resistance. Nowadays, it's a testament of how creative and resilient Chileans are.
Hola, ¿qué tal?
Bien. ¿Cómo estás?
Bien. Bueno, quería preguntarte sobre la cueca.
¿Qué cosa?
¿Cuánto tiempo llevas cantando y haciendo la cueca?
25 a 30 años.
30 años.
30 años, 30 años.
Mucho tiempo.
Mucho tiempo, sí.
Sí, ¿y tú? Mucho tiempo también.
No, lleva más tiempo, se le nota.
Muchos los dos.
Bueno, él es músico,
Sí, es
soy
bailarín.
bailarín.
So, tiene mucha historia.
Demasiado.
Es como la identidad de los chilenos. ¿Sí? Se ve como un baile muy divertido.
Sí,
Divertido, pero también es un baile sensual.
Sensual, sí.
De conquista, de
De
conquista.
conquista.
de conquista.
Porque
¿De qué de eso se trata?
de eso se trata. Pero no, es verdad que nació sobre esa historia del
Del gallo.
gallo.
Sí.
¿Eso
Claro,
es verdad?
viene.
¿Sí?
Por el zapateo, el gallo también.
Pero la cueca tiene mucha historia. Habla del minero, de todo, hasta del policía. te habla la cueca.
Del marino, del minero, del doctor, de todo.
A lo mejor me enseñas un poquito.
Sí,
Luego,
no,
¿sí?
enseño, sí.
A ver
Baila
si
bien,
puedo
baila bien.
aprender.
¿Te va? Muy bien. Salud por eso.
Por lo menos esto. Salud. Encantada.
¿Para
Ok.
dónde?
Gracias. Inglaterra.
Saludos para England.
Si lo necesitan allá, allá vamos.
Oiga, vamos a bailar, vamos a cantar.
¿Quiere bailar?
Sí, me enseñas.
Camina, no camina, tranquilo.
Camina tranquila.
Ahora, el pañuelo,
Pónmelo.
tómalo de ahí. Un, dos. Ahora, allá. Ahí.
Gracias.
Don't forget to join my YouTube memberships for access to bonus footage from my trips and personal Q&As with me where I answer your questions like where I'm from and how I got into content creation. The link to join is in the description below. About an hour and a half's drive west from Santiago is the magical port city of Valparaíso on Chile's Pacific coast. In the mid-1800s, this city became very wealthy due to its port, which was the most important in all of Latin America, attracting people from all around the world. Many European and American immigrants who stopped here decided to stay. That's why you see architecture like the Queen Victoria Hotel, reminiscent of Old England. And then you have all the colourful homes built on the hills surrounding the port. It's so magical with its small, winding streets, historic homes made from old shipping material, and incredible views. Today, it's become a haven for street artists who've drawn inspiration from their experiences of growing up in Chile to produce works that have helped give a voice to Valparaiso's community. I'm meeting up with street art tour guide Sebastian, and he's showing me some of his favourite murals.
So this mural talks about the revolution in 2019.
Exactly. This actually took place, if I remember correctly, like early November 2019, just a few weeks after everything started. So yeah, I helped in this wall.
Oh, you helped a little bit.
Yes, I did by far the best part, which is that black backdrop. I
So you
helped with
painted
that.
the black.
Exactly, which is the best part. Nothing works without it. I make sure of that.
Well, it certainly pops. The characters and the colours pop.
Exactly,
because
yeah.
of the black background.
So we see the people just marching through the streets, again, fighting for what they believe is right. Then you see these creatures, or these characters here, rather. Right, I'm going to start off with the guy on the left side that looks very gross. There's kind of a poop monster in a way. Right? As you can see, he has the presidential band, so you can kind of tell who it is, right?
So he's meant to be the president of Chile at the time.
At the time, yeah. He didn't have the best of reactions to what was going on. On the other side, you can see this creature, this green character, right, with a gun on his head and poop on his head.
More poo on his head, yeah.
Right? That's the police. And then in the middle, right, you can see this woman, right? In a way, she's like Mother Nature. You can see the tree on her head. She's pregnant as well. You can see she's missing an eye as well.
Because they used a lot of tear gas.
A lot of tear
rubber
gas.
bullets.
And yeah, the police use these riot shotguns. They're supposed to shoot rubber pellets, right? But turns out that they were metal pellets covered in rubber. The pellets were just bouncing around, and someone was bound to get hit in the face. To the point that we had a few hundred people with eye injuries, a few of them lost an eye. In that sense, it was pretty bad.
It seems as though the Chileans have quite not a rebellious streak, but a sort of necessity and like courage to kind of rise up against the greater powers, especially because you think about how terrible the dictatorship period was when so many people died. But the fact that just a few years ago, they still kind of came out in front of like police and military aggression, and they're still willing to
I'd say,
fight.
Without being an anthropologist or anything, but I would rather say that, we Chileans are very laid back. We like having a good time. We're very relaxed in a way, but as soon as something's bothering us, it's like, okay, we need to put a stop to that.
Yeah.
We usually take it and take it and take it until we say, okay, that's enough. We need to change. We need to do something about it.
Is street art it's illegal here, and it's illegal technically.
Yeah.
Even now.
Yes. So there's the loophole is you see a wall, you see a house, you want to paint,
You ask them.
you just for the wall.
Okay.
You just
And
ask
so
for
if
permission.
it's private property, they own it, they like it.
There's nothing they can do about it. It's
there's
private
nothing
property.
they can do.
Yeah. That one over there is for the 50 years of when the militaries took over for the coup. 50 years, no forgiveness. Do not forget.
Ni
perdón ni olvido.
Ni perdón ni olvido.
Yeah.
No
forgiveness, and we're not forgetting.
Yeah.
It says nunca más on the other side, like never again, for something like that to happen.
Yeah. And then ¿dónde están? Right, where are the people? Lots of people disappeared.
Exactly, and there's
During
a
the
lot of them
during
that
the,
we still haven't found. There
Really?
are family organizations that are actively
Looking for what happened.
forward for looking for what happened, trying to find their husbands, their sons, their parents. So we want to move on from it, but people are so cling to it, understandably, especially for the people that still haven't found their family.
And this one here is an indigenous person?
Right, yeah. So you can see the name of the artist over there. You can see it, his Instagram ads, Puke. He is actually of Mapuche origin. Now, the Mapuches are located in what is the Lake District in Chile and the southern side of Patagonia in Argentina.
The street art, when it comes to like indigenous street art, where you have things like this,
Yep.
is that kind of them trying to also kind of represent themselves? Because they've obviously suffered a lot of,
Yes,
it's
a way of paying respect to those who were before.
Right, so this is a funicular.
Yep, Reina Victoria.
Old, very old.
Yeah, they built it in 1902. I started working the next year. As you can see here, close to 45 degrees.
Oh my gosh. It's pretty scary.
The ones that are working are under maintenance,
They are.
like at least once or twice a month.
Okay, so they do check it.
Yeah, they get the proper maintenance. Don't worry about it.
Good. Very quirky aspect of the city of Valparaiso.
Yeah, I mean, the funiculars
funiculars, right?
are kind of a must. If you're in town, and you just make sure you take one.
Yeah.
We could walk for days here, checking all the time, more and more art. But unfortunately, all good things must have an end. This is as far as we'll go.
Definitely helps me understand more about the city and like the motivations for the street art.
Yeah, that's kind of the point. From now on, you get to see the walls with another set of eyes.
Yeah.
city of Santiago has many beautiful buildings like the Museum of Fine Arts, which is the first art museum in Latin America, and the National Library of Santiago. The city has an old European charm to it, with its grand central plazas and beautiful churches, but with a distinct Latin American energy. And nowhere is this better experienced than in the chaos of one of its oldest fish markets, the Mercado Central.
This is a central market. It's got a lot of history. It dates back to the 1800s when it was built, and it's got an amazing structure because it's all wrought iron on the ceilings, and it was voted one of the top markets in the world by National Geographic, and it's got an amazing fresh fish section. Hola, sí, ¿por qué no?
Oye, a ver, sácame una foto para ella, a ver. Hermosa, bella ella. Mira qué linda.
Gracias.
Gracias a ti.
Todo esto, tu pescado que estás vendiendo.
Mira.
Explícame un poco sobre la gastronomía de Chile, porque mucha gente no conoce mucho la gastronomía de acá.
Somos uno de los únicos países que tiene loco, crazy, Avalon.
¿Y esto cómo se cocina, cómo se come?
Con la boca. No, boca.
¿Lo calientas o no?
No,
es así, crudo.
Con mayonesa.
Le encanta la mayonesa acá. Obvio, mayonesa tiene que ser, ¿no?
Ahí para un ceviche tiene reineta.
¿Y la gente aquí come mucho ceviche?
Ceviche, demasiado ceviche.
Y dime, ¿cómo son los chilenos?
¿Para comer?
No, en general, ¿cómo son?
Somos todos cariñosos.
¿Cariñosos?
Todos cariñosos. Así somos los chilenos.
¿A los chilenos les gusta qué?
Cuando va a Chile me voy cruzando la cordillera. Más de un chileno se va a encontrar acá. Somos súper simpáticos los chilenos.
Simpáticos. Gracias, muchas gracias.
Chao.
Gracias.
Chao.
What on earth is that?
¿Y usted qué país?
De Inglaterra.
Ay, qué lindo.
Sí.
Muy linda.
Gracias.
Yo soy Janita, chilena.
Encantada. Malini.
Malini.
Sí.
Y se llama Piure.
Piure. Piure. Esto es muy fuerte, ¿no?
Muy fuerte.
Tiene un sabor muy fuerte.
Muy fuerte.
Pero solo se usa un poquito.
No lo coman ni un poquito.
No. Oh my gosh. ¿Y qué haces con esto?
¿Cómo es?
Wow. I must say, like, this market is one of the markets I've come to in the world where there is a lot of fish that I haven't seen, which just goes to show how rich Chile is, you know, in terms of things like fish.
Muy regia la niña. Malini estupenda. Muy linda la chica.
Gracias, ciao. So, I'm trying a few of the typical dishes. This is the ceviche de reineta. Not the kind of ceviche I'm used to from Peru. It's kind of all chopped up. Then, I had to get the abalone, which is funny because they call them here locos. Crazy. And of course, it comes with mayonnaise. Okay, very interesting because it doesn't have like a fishy flavor at all. I'm going to be brave because there's actually a piece of piure on the ceviche, and this is what the lady was showing me in the market. It's basically sea squirt. It looks pretty scary, and it's actually become a very popular ingredient in Chile. Oh my God, I don't know, I'm going to have a little tiny bite of it because I'm terrified. No, it's really odd. It's muy fuerte, ¿no? Sí.
Ese es uno de los productos más fuertes en sabor. Sabor adquirido. O te gusta o
no te gusta. Yeah, he's saying it's kind of one of those things that, you know, you either love it or you hate it. A little bit like Marmite. Anyway, if you do come to Chile, try it. You got to try it.
One of the greatest things about Santiago is its bustling nightlife scene. There are many beautiful neighborhoods with smart cocktail bars, and Santiaguinos, as the locals are called, are rather spoilt for choice when it comes to where to head to on the weekend.
Providencia is one of my favourite neighbourhoods to come to for a drink. There are so many beautiful cocktail bars here, and there are just so many beautiful modern neighbourhoods in Santiago. Sometimes I feel like I'm in the States, like New York or something like that. You know, there are a lot of young, affluent, local Chileans here, and of course, you have to try the local, or you know, the national cocktail of Chile, which is the pisco sour, because they're a big producer of pisco, which is, you know, the liquor made from the grape. So good. Hola.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Do you speak English or
Reunión de trabajo.
Español.
And you're in the video.
It's English and
I can
Spanish.
give you an interview right now, huh?
We are all drunk.
¿Qué es la mejor cosa de ser chileno?
Hablar rápido y que no se entienda ni una wea. Somos lejos los mejores latinos de Latinoamérica. Bailamos.
Okay, ¿baila la cueca?
No.
La cueca, no. ¿No?
Sí, bailamos, pero bailamos reggaetón.
Ok, reggaetón, el sur de Chile, Patagonia, o sea, unos paisajes muy
la carretera austral.
Que tenemos un país con todos los climas a lo largo de bailar con todo.
Es un país que tiene el desierto, las montañas, el mar.
Tenemos playas, tenemos nieve en el invierno,
Si te pregunto qué diferencia un chileno con un peruano, un brasileño, un argentino, ¿qué me dirías?
No, porque somos el mejor país, tenemos la mejor economía, tenemos las mejores mujeres.
Hay algo que debo conocer acá, en Santiago.
A mi amigo Manuel. Te lo presento. Mi amigo Manuel te lo presento. No lo entrevistaste a él.
Hola, Manuel.
Nuestro mejor hombre que tenemos.
El mejor hombre que tiene. Salud. Okay. Salud, Manuel. Un placer conocer a todos ustedes. Muchas gracias. Gracias. Ciao. Here's something else I love about this country. It just happens to be a world-famous producer of one of my favorite things in life, wine. The central region surrounding Santiago is full of lush, fertile valleys which grow a variety of grapes. So in just half an hour, you can be in one of Chile's award-winning vineyards, sipping some of the finest wines with the Andes Mountains as a backdrop. It doesn't happen in many places. It's absolutely amazing coming to a winery here in Chile and just trying some of their amazing wines. They've got some beautiful reds and whites. So this is one of their really famous full-bodied reds, the Carmener grape. I just love how rich and full-bodied their red wines are. So it's incredible to come here and try some of their amazing wines. Maybe the best thing about Santiago is how it's situated. Surrounded by the Andes Mountains, it's one of the world's longest mountain ranges, which spans 7 countries on the South American continent, and some of the highest peaks are found right here in Chile. This place is so beautiful. It's called Cajón del Maipo, and it's literally 2.5 hours from Santiago, and you are just surrounded by the Andes Mountains. They are so majestic. I just love the way some of them are capped with snow, and then you've got these beautiful glaciers that have created this turquoise lake. The scenery is stunning, and the fact that you can get here so quickly from the capital is pretty mind-blowing. So you can really immerse yourself in nature when you come to Chile. I can't believe I'm literally climbing the Andes Mountains. It's very cool. It's so rocky. It's just a very unique terrain. Wow. Well, it's quite high altitude here, so you kind of really feel it because you get out of breath a lot quicker. But the further up the mountain you go, the more incredible the views are of the lake and of the amazing mountains. It's taking my breath away, these landscapes. Chile is a country that has experienced moments of fear and desolation. But it's admirable to see how the country and its people have found strength in painful events. And today, there's a sense of hope for the future. Its people have been flanked by 2 powerful partners since the dawn of time.
the mountains and the sea, and they never abandon a Chilean. I'm so happy I got to discover Chile, especially during this important time when it feels like Chile is rediscovering itself, because you can feel the excitement of hope everywhere you go, in everyone you meet. It's been an incredible trip. Maybe we could all learn a little something from Chile.